that being said, I mean, what does this all look like and clinically, and what's the point of all this? We get to this end of the paper and say, okay, cool. There might be more zonulin, more intestinal permeability in type 1 diabetic patients, but so what?
Yeah. So ultimately, it's about figuring out, like I said, why is that zonulin increased, and what can we do to help reduce that and reduce the intestinal permeability. And so, I mean, it doesn't get into it in this paper as far as what causes the zonulin to increase. It's just showing kind of the correlation of zonulin and that going on. But there has been studies on general leaky gut and some things that cause it. And so it's about identifying those triggers and identifying what is causing leaky gut. And for each person, that is going to be different, unfortunately, which is the sucky thing about health and the human body and being a doctor, is trying to figure out why this person is in this position and why their body is doing what it is doing. Because ultimately, the body is trying to heal itself, is trying to do the right thing. But we have to make the right choices as practitioners, as patients, throughout our day and in our lives, to help make sure our body can function at its best capacity. And so we have to look at what are the most common things and what are the things that are impacting you. So obviously, diet is a huge component of what's going on in the gut, because if you have a lot of inflammation in the gut, that's typically going to lead to more of that leaky gut scenario. And so inflammation is just a broad term, and there's a lot of things that can cause inflammation. But I will say, in my practice, I find that the large majority of inflammation in people's bodies comes from what they're putting in their mouth. And part of the reason for that is because, 60 to 80%, depending on what study you look at, of your immune system is located in your gut and in that gut lining. So if you're bringing stuff in that your body doesn't like, then you're going to be causing a lot more inflammation and triggering a lot more things going on there.
Right. And so to connect a few more dots, inflammation, immune system. So your immune system is what literally creates the signals of inflammation. It's not good. And we've talked about this on the podcast before. It's not good nor bad. It just is by itself. But when you have it chronically, that's an issue. And in fact, inflammation is a good thing in an acute scenario. But when you have it too long, it starts creating havoc in your gut. And if you have most of your immune system in your gut, and that's chronically sending what you're eating, sending signals to your immune system to create inflammation, that's a pretty big issue.